What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So today we are going to be doing Ascendant Lord in the 9th house. And what happens when your Ascendant Lord is in the 9th house? And yes, we are in my bedroom, my master bedroom. This is where all the meditation happens. Yeah. Okay, so Ascendant Lord in the 9th house. Well, what is the Ascendant Lord? Ascendant Lord is your very first house in your birth chart. It is the sign that was rising from the eastern horizon where the sun rises from, and whatever zodiac sign was rising behind the horizon, that sign becomes your Ascendant Lord sign. And Lord meaning the planet that rules that sign. So your Ascendant Lord. So whatever your sign is, if you're Aries, Mars rules Aries. So if Mars is the ruler of the first house, it goes into the 9th house at the time of your birth because it was going through the 9th house thing. Okay, this is too long of a thing for me to explain, but just try to get it, But what is the 9th house? Okay, in astrology, 9th house is known as the house of luck and fortune. It is known as the house of higher learning. It is known as a house of religion, philosophy, your teachers, your gurus, and the teachings of your father. It's a house that shows the teachings of your father. Not really the relationship with your father. It just, was your father a guru or was your father a positive influence in your life? 9th house represents traveling long distance for education, traveling long distance for religious activities. Okay? So that's what 9th house is. And 9th house is known as the most positive, amazing house in astrology, especially Vedic astrology. Okay, so when your Ascendant Lord goes into that house, or in your birth, you have your Ascendant Lord sitting in the 9th house at the exact moment your little butt came out, what happens then? Well, there's such positiveness when you read something mundane, in books and online, about how 9th house, the person is lucky, the person is fortunate and wealthy and has all the luxuries of life. They're well educated. They're everything that you want to be. Okay, but that's not what the case is. Okay, that's not always the case, because each planet has its own energy. Each planet feels comfortable in some houses, doesn't feel comfortable in the other houses. So anytime when you have natural malefic planets like Sun, well, Sun is a mild malefic, but especially Saturn, Mars, Rahu, Ketu, the north and south node of the moon, when they're in the Trikona houses, they feel irritated, especially the 9th house. Okay? And the reason for that is that malefic planets are all about working for the material gain, working for the material status. Like 9th house doesn't promote fighting, but Mars promotes fighting. This is why Mars is like, I don't want to be there. So this is why, depending upon your Ascendant Lord, you're going to have different reaction from these planets. Like Sun. When Sun goes in the 9th house, Sun does okay. Sun does quite well in the 9th house. Because Sun is a Sattvic planet, meaning that Sun is a spiritual planet. Originally, it represents your soul. So soul is spirituality, spirit. Okay? So when Sun goes into the 9th house, it shows a person who is very dedicated towards the religious side of life, spiritual side of life. They respect their gurus. Okay? Because from the ascendant, as a Leo ascendant, which is ruled by Sun, when it goes into the 9th house, it shows that the planet is exalted. And I know in the last video I made a mistake of saying that Sun was exalted in the 9th house, but hopefully you didn't catch that. Okay? But for the Leo ascendant, Sun goes into the 9th house, exalted. Your ego, your confidence, your vitality, all comes by interacting yourself, your physical self, with gurus, with your teachers, with your father. Your father was a government figure who instilled very higher values in your life. You have this pride and confidence about the philosophical and religious side of life. And especially in Sun Mahadasha, you will be handed down power and responsibility of like a religious institution or university institution. Okay, see, people think that Sun's Mahadasha will automatically get them to a high status, but whenever a malefic planet is involved, Sun, Malefic planets will always make you work hard and fight hard to achieve your status. So Sun is a very hot planet. He will burn certain qualities of the ninth house. So what happens is, the negative side of this is that Sun becomes too egoistic. He becomes too confident. He feels that he is privileged to hold this beacon of religious activities and university activities and knowledge and everything, and they become quite proud. They're like, I am the one who knows everything and you don't know nothing. So Sun is kind of burning that quality. So that's what you got to realize. When Moon is in the ninth house, Moon becomes extremely sensual, imaginative, and he becomes very artistic in the ninth house. Because Moon is your feeling, your intuition, your peace of mind. And when it goes into the ninth house, in the sign of Pisces, it becomes very imaginative. It loves traveling. It loves to interact with the people of spiritual realm, and this person, his mind and his peace of mind comes in when they're involved in learning, when they're involved in higher activities. Okay, but you got to remember one thing. 12th house is not the house of fortune. It's not like you're going to find a fortune somewhere buried because your ascendant lord is there, so you're meant to be the richest person. No. Ninth house simply says you will feel fortunate in life. Like if a person lives in a one-bedroom apartment with 2 kids and a wife, one-bedroom apartment, and if this person has ascendant lord in the 6th house, he will feel miserable. Like, what kind of life am I in? Do I just have a one-bedroom house? I need to have a 5-bedroom house, especially with my family. But if that same person has ascendant lord in the 9th house, what happens is, no matter what the circumstances are, the person feels fortunate. The person feels, oh, okay, I'm absolutely happy with it. 1 bedroom, hey, that's fine. I'll make it look more beautiful than any other house. So this way, I'm at a peace of mind. But as a moon is your mind, feelings, intuition. In a 9th house, it feels really intuitively connected with the Divine Mother, and the Mother herself instills a lot of valuable higher knowledge and philosophy in your life. So it's a very beautiful moon to have in your life. Okay. Venus goes into the 9th house. When Venus goes into the 9th house, you have this natural love and natural sensual, attraction towards religious activities, towards higher learning, philosophy, traveling, meeting with people of different religion. Because Venus is our love and relationships mainly. In the 9th house of religion and foreign activities and going to foreign lands, these people are really attracted to opposite sex or same sex nowadays of this different culture and religion. They love to explore that side. But then, depending upon if it's like, let's say if it's a Taurus ascendant, that means Venus is in the sign of Capricorn. Meaning that Venus will be really strict about its higher philosophy and higher learning and what is learned in an institutionalized situation. These people are very conservative, that, okay, I'm only going to marry this and that's it. I'm only going to form a relationship with these kind of people and that's it. But they become extremely spiritual and they love traveling. It's like they become these, gypsies. They have this hardcore mentality about traveling and just exploring everything they can in this life. Mercury, as the ascendant lord, goes into the 9th house. Mercury is the planet that loves exploring things. Mercury is a planet that is very curious about things. So Mercury is intelligence as well. Your nervous system, your intelligence, your communication is a significator and a karaka of your speech. So you tend to gravitate towards communication of higher kind. You tend to gravitate towards learning all the philosophy of life and communicating to the other people. So like a pastor, those pastors go out and give speeches. Somebody who's a lecturer, somebody who goes out and, like Wayne Dyer, type of a person who goes out and does public speaking about religion and philosophy and higher line. That's what Mercury becomes. Mercury becomes extremely intelligent. The person is really inclined towards getting their graduate education, like master's degrees, PhD, doctorate degrees. But see, Mercury is not a religious planet because it's opposite its sign. Mercury, the sign that it rules is Gemini and Virgo. Okay, they're always opposite to Jupiter's sign, which is Sagittarius and Pisces. So Mercury is the opposite of what Jupiter represents. Jupiter represents a higher kind of philosophy, higher kind of divine learning, where Mercury is about now. Mercury is about business. Mercury is about communicating about ideas that takes place now in this real world. Okay, so when Mercury is in the ninth house of higher learning, it learns not the philosophical side mainly, but the realistic side. Like I said, they want to go in to get their MBA. They want to go out there and getting their doctorate degree, PhD in psychology, PhD in psychiatrist. They want to take that ninth house things and try to create a business out of them. They might write about books that are about higher purpose, that are about religious things, that are about educational books. Okay, but Mercury, what it does is, hey, let's create this idea that can better the world, and I can be an entrepreneur and this and that. Where Jupiter will be pissed at Mercury. He's like, dude, what are you doing? This is the house of philosophy. You don't look at money in this house. So it depends. See how each ascendant is doing differently. Now Jupiter, like I said, when Jupiter comes into the ninth house, Jupiter is the original ruler of the ninth house. Okay, so when Jupiter is in the ninth house, Jupiter becomes very strict and proud about its divine grace and divine education. Jupiter becomes this teacher, this motivator, this coach. Like Jupiter in the ninth house can make a person a coach as well in sports. So this person, it can be this divine guru, this divine, this figure in your life that has a strong influence on yourself. So a person who has this will have a very strong influence in terms of preaching, in terms of teaching, in terms of talking about higher philosophy, talking about spirituality, meditation. Like Jupiter for Pisces ascendant, can show somebody who is very much deeply involved in their religious activities. This person with this kind of ascendant and placement of the Jupiter can be those really evangelical type Christians or hardcore Muslims or hardcore, Hindus who will go everything by the word because they have gone to the depth of their religion. They have grasped it and they want to transform themselves through it. They feel that they want to transform the world through it and they want to get the hold of the world on that. So they feel that everybody needs to do what they're doing. So it's not really a positive thing if they become that person unless there are other planets involved or Jupiter lords is in a better sign. Okay, so and that's another thing you got to remember. It's not really about looking at a planet in the ninth house. Like I'll do the next planet, Saturn. Saturn is in a sign for 2.5 years. And every 2.5 hours, the ascendant changes. So out of a day, okay, Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. Out of a day, at least twice, you will have Capricorn and Aquarius every day coming. And Jupiter and Saturn will be in the sign of Libra for 2.5 years. So the whole 2.5 years, if people are born with Saturn in the ninth house, do you think they'll be the most fortunate, richest people out there? No, I can take you guys to a field trip in Africa where these people don't even have one bread to eat, and yet they might have 5 planets exalted. Why is it that you just can't go by the signs exaltation and debilitation or Mool Trikon sign? It's mainly what you have to do before I do Saturn is that you have to see where's the lord of that sign placed. So like for Aquarius ascendant, Saturn rules that. Saturn goes in the ninth house. Oh, it's exalted. But what if Saturn is sleeping? Saturn is below 1 degree. What if Saturn is after 28.5 degrees and really, really old? What if Venus is debilitated? Do you think Saturn will give the same result? No. Okay. And here's the thing. Let's say Saturn, I'll go into this Venus debilitated thing. Okay. Saturn is a natural malefic planet. Saturn is about delay. Saturn is about hard work. Saturn is about discipline, organization, structure, routine work. Okay. Just working with your physical body working. Saturn makes you frustrated in life. So when Saturn goes in the ninth house, even if it's exalted, first Saturn is bringing his natural maleficness, meaning that he is denying access and he is delaying access to spiritual knowledge, to philosophical knowledge. You will have this really just very head-butting type relationship with your gurus, with your father. Like you will not like the discipline that your teachers and education and your father is putting on you. You will feel this type of pressure upon yourself. You will you will feel like as much as I try to do these things, ritualistic things, I just can't. I'm getting frustrated by that. Now, let's say if the Lord of the Libra, where Saturn is exalted for Aquarius ascendant, Venus is debilitated in the 8th house. What do you think is happening? Well, the 8th house is about transformation. Venus rules the 9th house, and 8th house is sudden events, sudden transformation. And when Saturn is there and the rulers in the 8th house, it shows sudden transformation with religion and knowledge and philosophy and higher activities. What this means that suddenly person at one point in their life, especially in Venus, Saturn Mahadasha and Venus Antardasha, this person will suddenly change their religion and their viewpoint. Like if they're a hardcore Christian, next thing you know, they're a Buddhist monk. Something so profoundly happens in their life that they completely changes their view of the world. Or if they're a Buddhist monk or spiritual person who doesn't believe in religion, suddenly they are these hardcore religious person. You know, this your friend who didn't believe in Islam, but now suddenly he's out there praying 5 times a day. He is doing everything by the book, doing everything by the Quran. Why is this happening? Because of the fact the sudden transformation took place. The Lord, the house lord, who controls the house, who's a landlord, he's suddenly in this transformative state. You know, he suddenly makes you move from this room to that room. You see, Mars goes into the 9th house. For Scorpio ascendant, Mars is debilitated. And Mars Mool Trikona sign is in the 6th house. Mars is what? Again, natural malefic. Mars is aggression. Mars is competitivity. Mars is fighting skills. Mars doesn't want to learn about higher philosophy and religion. So when Mars goes into the 9th house, it's debilitated there. Meaning that Mars is very agitated. He gets into power struggles with the father, with teachers, leaves the higher learning, immaturely. It provides accidents related to hips and thighs during Mars Mahadasha, because Mars rules the 6th house of accident, and this Mool Trikona sign is there. You will always fight with people of the higher religion. Sure, you may get money. Sure, you may get higher, all sorts of material things in life, but you will get these short tempers with people in the religious places. You will become a coach who is very hardcore and fierce. You make your students run like 50 laps instead of like 15 laps. You know, you have this nature, this I won't say demonic nature, but you have this complete aggressive nature and competitive nature to not only make yourself win and stand up as a soldier of the higher knowledge, but the people you're teaching are going to be agitated with you because you'll be one of those teachers that everybody hates. He's like, this guy is way too strict, man. This guy is just, I don't like him. So that energy comes into play as the ascendant lord. You will be manipulative to people. You will use the scam. You may become a scammer of higher learning. You may use religious things and may go around the community and scamming people for money. So you see how all these things, each ascendant brings a different energy, especially malefic planets. Okay, so you have to always see what planet is ruling the ascendant, and is it benefic, malefic? What sign is out there? What is it doing to your planet? And then mainly look at the lord of the sign that it's in. So if Mars is debilitated, but if Moon is in the 7th house exalted at the right degree, like at 2 or 3 degrees, it will show that this person is very emotionally stable about higher learning. They're able to control their competitiveness, and they're able to go and steer through life with the knowledge of higher learning. Okay? So guys, this was my analysis of Ascendant Lord in the 9th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where your Ascendant Lord is placed and if it's debilitated in the 9th house, for that, check out the links below. Check out my books there, Astrology at the Speed of Light and Conjunctions at the Speed of Light. And when you get these books, I will send you the link to look at your own chart. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.